this work really changes everything. It gives you so much perspective. Like the consciousness is it's just amazing. Yeah. It's not transcending anything or bypassing, spiritual bypassing. And it's just, you have to do the work.
Imagine discovering a pathway that cuts through the noise of trying to heal, to instead offer you a clear, revolutionary initiation into your most connected, abundant, loved, and purpose-filled self. A place where your dreams transform into personal reality. I'm Allura Halliwell, founder of the Consciousness Method, and it's with deep gratitude that I connect with beautiful souls who have already experienced this transformative method firsthand. They'll share how it has profoundly changed their lives and led them into inner truth. Hello, Lissy. Welcome to the Consciousness Method podcast. I am so excited to have this conversation with you. We have been working together for years on and off, and I think it's maybe best if I just let you tell the story of our journey, because we've been through all the places together. It's been such a big journey.
Oh, hello everyone. Yes, it's been a long time. Like if I go back and numbers of years, I don't think I can remember. But it must be in 2023 because it would have been 2023. We were working together one-on-one actually. That was the format at the time. And I remember receiving the meditations, and we were going like really through like somatic experiences. As I would do the meditation, and then we would have our call, and then you would ask where I felt in my body, and then we were developing this relationship. And then through that, a lot of things were happening for me at that time, but then something really tragically happened in my life, which was that my daughter passed away. And I remember how much support I received from you personally, actually, the visits, the hugs. I feel truly blessed for your presence at that time. I cannot even explain. It was like every time you came, it was like an angel, would just come and hold me, because I had so much going on and so many people around and trying to help. But I think because the work that we've done before that, and we were still doing actually, you got to know me, so I really felt that you could see through me. And I know you did try to offer me some sort of help as time went along, but I think I really needed to pause everything. And that's what I did. And he really respected that. And that was something also really nice, because I think you're just hanging there, sometimes you send me a message or something, see how I was doing. But it wasn't until how long after? Maybe a year and a half after. I did see you a few times between that time, but I went away with my family, with my son and my husband on a trip, and I got really, really ill on that trip. And I literally had a day that I stayed on my own, and we were in this small hotel room, and I just felt that my physical body, like I just felt that I died. I remember my husband coming back, and I was just like, I was on the ground. I was like, I really felt that I died. I couldn't explain. I don't even know what happened. I had all these thoughts, but like the physical, and I think part of me accepted that day a lot of the dying parts of me that had been happening throughout that whole time, that whole year and a half since my Dora passed away, all the changes, all the transformations. It just landed there somehow. I cannot even explain, to be honest.
It's like that death of the limited self.
Yes.
When that version of you just completely falls away because it's no longer available to keep operating out of that. So it feels like you're dying. And that's definitely.
Yeah. And I think I was holding through so much, anger and the losses that I had with her loss. And there was so much there. And through that physical experience, it was transformational actually. And I remember you came into my mind. It's like straight away. I was like, Allura. And we were in New Zealand and I was like, okay. So I think I even sent you a message or something. And when I go back, you said, oh, let's chat. And you were a little bit like, oh, how can I support you? Because I don't like, you're trying to feel where I was at. And I was like, no, I can do this work now. I felt that I was in another stage that I am ready for this. Because I think before that happened, I was still dealing with a lot of attachments and and obviously pain, because pain's such a big part of all of this, isn't it?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And then I think you were very honest and cautious with me, because you're like, oh, should we work on a one? And, I think you took time to think about it. And then I think a few days later, you just said, I have a group and I think it's going to be good for you. And that was really good for me because I hadn't exposed myself yet. So that was stretching my nervous system. In this group of women that didn't know my story, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was really hard for me to talk about, but it was the talking about that allowed me to stretch. There's so much to talk about.
So much here.
I can keep going on and on.
Keep going. I love it.
Yes,
It's
but
such a big journey.
yes, because it was that. Like I remember, it was so hard for me to even mention what happened in my life. Without me just bursting into tears, and that's okay. But it was those small stretches that you suggested very kindly, always to me. It was never something that you imposed for me to do. And those little stretches started allowing me to express, and now I can talk about it. Like, obviously, I have a lot of sad moments, and I always will. But I can express, I can talk, I can consciously be in it. Yeah.
Wow, Lissy.
Yeah.
You're right. That those little stretches that you made across space and time in the, out of a layer of the grief. Of course, the grief will always rise and fall in its own design, but just coming into the connection with the community, with yourself, with knowing that you weren't in isolation in it anymore was, I think, just a gift for me to be there and holding a space for you to come through, to reconnect on some level.
Yeah, and I think I'm still stretching, and I always think about your suggestions, just do that little bit more, and And some days it doesn't work. We have to honor that too, right? Um, but yeah, those stretches really allow myself to be in community again in some ways,
Mm. And I think a big piece of that was working out who you really are.
Yeah.
Because there was such a sort of a development of an aspect of you that needed to survive being social and being connected to others.
Yeah.
And then after the passing of your daughter, it was almost like you had to reconfigure who you were. It was almost like the version of you that had always been outwards and just connecting to sort of have that meaning
In access.
and
Yeah.
access. She couldn't be there anymore. So it was like a death of your identity as well in that passing. It was like you couldn't just force yourself to be out there in the community in the same ways. And I think that really brought you into a deep connection of your knowing yourself and knowing who you are to express as an authentic version of you, not a version of you that needed to be a certain way to connect. And I think that was amazing to witness.
And that's the part of the that I really had to sit with as well, like that dying part of myself that was out there all the time.
Yeah.
Trying to please everyone, and seeing that wound, and just being with it. I still see it playing sometimes. It's not that we erase that part of ourselves, is it?
No, we really don't. We
No.
use it for our evolution because it's part of our design, but we don't get trapped or feel like we're in the prison of it anymore. But yeah, it still shows us where we're still evolving.
Yes, yes. I'm really conscious and aware now when that part of me is lingering there or trying to sneak in and being like, oh, hey.
Hey, you. And I love that because it's, that concept of the wounding, I think, can be so liberating when we see that part of us that wants to design reality in a very certain, like, just safe way, but it's not really safe for us. And I think the other part for you, which I've seen you master so beautifully master's a big word, but come into relationship with so beautifully, is your pain. And I'm curious, we work a lot with pain as a portal and working through the fear to release that pain. How has that maybe transformed and, your journey through grief and your understanding of the fear that you have in life of pain? How has that helped you? Because I think people listening that maybe go through losses or really big events where they're feeling a lot of pain. How has that helped?
Listen, it hasn't been easy, I'll be honest with you, because through that process of really allowing pain to be there, to be present with the pain, I felt a lot of physical pain as well through that process. Like my sternum would be like sore, and then I would feel like I would be having like panic attacks because the breathing wasn't able to fully be there for me, and with that, then the fear comes, right? What is happening? I'm losing control. And I think you being there is very helpful because I think the times that I thought, oh my gosh, what is happening? Am I losing complete control of this situation? You always grounded me saying it is safe to feel that. And then the more that I allowed myself to really, really feel and to honor that, honor those days, honor those moments. And then also realize that that they need to come through. They need to come through. They take me into a next level, sort of speak.
Yeah.
When I allow myself to feel them, to really go in it, and to be where it meets me. If it's me spending a whole day in bed or
Mm.
whatever it is that I need to do, if I really, really allow, then suddenly I just have this upgrade,
Yes.
isn't it? It's actually incredible because if you're conscious, and obviously the support really helps too.
Mm.
But the more you practice, it's like a practice, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like an exercise. The more you do it, then you allow yourself to be safe in that experience. Even that the pain and the fear, they're right there.
Yeah.
But there's a part of you that like I can do this.
That's the consciousness. And I've witnessed you tap into that so powerfully. And yes, you're right. It does not feel great. It's not something we enjoy to begin with. But then we also see and feel the really deep benefit and purpose of it, and the upgrade and the release that happens. And witnessing you meet some of the probably the worst pain that any
Yeah.
human can endure, and to be in such commitment to yourself and your evolution and your life and the lives of those around you by doing this work and committing to being here. It's been so amazing to witness you. It's been such a gift to witness you. And I have been so humbled in witnessing you go through what you've been through and anchor that safety of that pain in your body. It's just been an incredible, incredible feat. And it just gives me such a deep sense of gratitude that we can do this for these really, really challenging things that we do not want to experience. But we can actually create a pathway through and come through to the other side with them. And they'll always be there. They'll always have shaped us. But the way you've walked that with such grace, it's just been an incredible thing to witness.
I think one of the things that I got used to ask myself is like, what's the worst that can happen? And like you just said, and thank you for everything that you just said. It's been, it is an experience that I don't, that I could never imagine. And I don't think any human, can imagine the pain of losing a child, even if we would try to. And yeah, sorry, I lost my words.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's so big.
Yeah.
And I think in that you've you've found yourself in something deeper in there. You've found so much in you. I've witnessed you becoming this version of you that's so vast, and so just powerful is not the right word, but so capable of holding this. And it's such a big, mission to be with.
It is. It's a mission that you never wanted to hold, isn't it?
No, you never wanted to hold it. You never wanted to hold it, and you've done it, and you're doing it.
And I had to realize that I would do for the rest of my life as well.
Yeah.
That was something else that I had to make peace with it. It's a part of me. Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
And that brings me to kind of the next big piece that we did, which was, well, there's lots of big pieces, but kind of next there's a lot of big pieces. And you went on a beautiful journey, when we reconnected around making the decision to bring another life into your life.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a little bit about that as well?
Well, it's been very incredible, to be honest. Before before Gaia passed away, I feel a couple of days before I had a feeling of another child. And my daughter wasn't sick. So it was a pretty strong feeling. Um, she tragically died on a Sunday afternoon, and I kept hearing this child. I cannot even explain, and even if I try, um, and I was in the middle of so much chaos. And I remember telling Stuart one day, I said, there is a child for us. I said, I don't know what to say. And I thought he was going to call me completely crazy. And yeah, so that process, it took us actually after the New Zealand trip, when I felt that I literally die. It was after that I felt pregnant. So it comes to show that everything had a time and space to happen that way, that my body probably got in a state of being ready after I processed. And it's been a journey being pregnant. It's been very different. I have a son, and I had Gaia, I had a daughter. And this Baba here, I'm 39 weeks tomorrow, that we don't know what it is. It's been a blessing. We're taking day by day. It's a totally different experience than my previous pregnancies, but it's not less special or more. It's just we're completely present. I would say it's a presence that doesn't need more than what it is. Yeah. And I think it's all the work that I've done. Like yeah. I feel that we are where we should be. And I don't need more than what it is. And obviously, I would love my daughter to be here, but I truly believe that these souls have met and they needed this time to bond. That's my belief. And yeah, when this baby is ready, it's going to come earthside, and we're just waiting. So yeah, that's something else. It's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It's been really special. Really, really special to hold this pregnancy. I feel really blessed. And interesting enough, even being so pregnant with baby brain and everything else that comes with it, no sleep, there's still things happening in my life, you know? Like the experience that I had with my dad this week is still through this work. It's just, yeah, it's just so much.
Tell us about that evolution, because that was a big thing we were working on in the background. You've had this big journey here, but we've been working on your family of origin and that connectivity. And so I'd love you to share about that experience with your dad and how it was for you with him before then.
Well, I haven't had a relationship with my dad since I became a teenager, really. He was always there. He's not separated from my mom. We lived together. Then they moved away, and I was at uni, so I was living somewhere else. But it just became a very difficult relationship. He was never a person that used to talk much or tell his feelings, and he expressed a lot through anger. When things got too close, to shut them down, he would just use anger. And I think because I came to Australia, I was on my 20s. Then we just carried on that relationship that was pretty much no existent.
Mm.
Because my point of connection with my family was always calling my mom and my mom telling me how he is.
Yeah.
And he would be on the background and say hello, but we would never like really connect anymore. And that's been such a long time. And through time, even going to Brazil, visiting, my mom came here so many times. He doesn't go on flights. He's extremely anxious person.
Mm.
He never got a flight in his whole life. No, yeah, he wouldn't deal with being enclosed in the air or on a boat or anywhere that he cannot walk away. So, yeah, so he never came. And, I would go to Brazil and be involved with siblings and family. And he would just be in the background of my life, but not part of it
Mm.
anymore. And it took me years, Allura. And I remember even when I started working with you that I was like, I just need to make peace with that. Because I didn't want to fight the feeling of like, I used to think I lost my father, but he's still alive,
Mm.
and it was difficult, but I made peace with that over time. And I just allowed him to be the way he was.
Mm.
And this week, through an experience that happened, like I don't know what I could call what happened this weekend, but something showed me. I don't know, something took me because I didn't plan, like my dad, it was my dad's birthday. And so many times I just sent him a message. I wouldn't call him. I didn't plan. I didn't think about it. I didn't try to like, oh, what am I going to say? How is it going to be? I just literally took my phone and made a phone call. And I thought, oh, whatever he says, I will just say happy birthday. Are you watching the World Cup? Try to make a conversation. If it, what can, what's the worst that can happen? That's my mantra now. Um, and then I called him, and we ended up talking for like 40 minutes. Everyone in my family says that my dad is going deaf, that he can't talk on the phone. And he was talking and telling me things about his life.
Mm.
And I was asking questions about his dad. He shared a lot of pain of his family, problems with alcohol, and how he wasn't close to his family to protect us. And he was so judged through so many times in my life for not being present with his family.
Mm.
And we never actually asked him why. It was, yeah, it was, he's 80 years old now. Um, I never thought we would have this conversation. I had this conversation with him in my mind a lot of times because my
Yeah.
mom knew some stories of his family. So I would have this conversation with him like he already passed away.
Mm.
But I couldn't believe that we actually had this conversation. I still can't. I asked myself the other day, I was like, should I try to call again? Is he gonna be the same person? What was that? It was, yeah, it was so
Huge.
incredible. It was really huge.
And he said something to you.
He did. We said to each other, actually, he said he called me my daughter. And he said, oh, I love you. And then I said, yes, I love you too, Dad. And And we really, really connected. We spoke about grief. That's something that we haven't done, because my brother also passed away 8 months after my daughter died. And that's something else that I had to process. So we could really see each other through that pain. And then he said as well, like that, we could never imagine the pain of losing a child. And we both lost a child. I never thought, Allura, ever that I was going to have this conversation with my dad. I thought if one day he was like sick and I would go to Brazil to hold his hand, I would probably have this conversation on my own. You know what I mean? When you like someone,
Yes.
like I would envisage that, like my dad, like passing away, and I'm like having this conversation. I'm still like
In shock.
in shock. Yeah. That we actually had this conversation.
Because you totally changed the field. Like all the work that you did on your inner being and in even your family of the origin and the piece you did before with your mum, which we might touch on a little bit, it was all opening. Everything was opening for you to be connected in yourself, for the version of reality to show up, for him to be connected to you. And it just became reality, like from the inner connection that you've been developing. And then it's loving all around you. It's not just one aspect of your reality is loving. Everything becomes loving. And I think this unification with parents, especially for people that have had such big breaks with their family, like close family members, we're seeing this all the time in this work, this unification, but on such a profound, beautiful, authentic level. And you've just embodied that. And you've received the reality reflection. And your dad, you've given him the greatest gift, Lissy, the greatest gift of meeting him in his pain, in your shared pain and in your shared love. And that for him has, I can feel it's changed him as well.
And listen, even his language, because my dad was never very good with words. Even his language was like clear and better. Like it's like he was in between worlds, like, in the spirit, like, I don't know, I wouldn't say spirit, but like in another realm that he could really express himself.
And you received that because you prepared yourself for him to be that way. You got rid of that separation.
Yeah.
Right? You released that within you so he could come forward to you. And he's probably always been like that. But because there's been so much suppression on him all around him, he hasn't been able to express in that.
And I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something that I probably didn't mention that day because you said you want to touch a little bit about my mom. My mom wasn't there. She's away. So that also allowed him to freely speak.
Yeah. It's
huge. It is huge. Because so he had the space
to express.
And I felt deeply in my heart how many times he probably wanted to have the space and he didn't.
Wow, you've changed that whole relationship.
And I sent him a message thanking him and, like I said, beautiful things,
Yeah.
like how hard it would have been for him to come from so much pain in his family, and thanking him for protecting us in some ways. I don't think we ever thought that he's done that.
And this is the beauty of this consciousness, right? It's like the pieces of the puzzle just come together and form because we're open to seeing it all. We're not in fear of it. We're not resisting it. We're not separating from it. We're going, show me everything so I can feel it all and understand it all. And you've opened so much to be able to just have those puzzle pieces fall into place. Such a gift. And also I wanted to touch on with your mum, we found this incredible programming quite recently, really, where there was that fear of projecting a reality around you that you were never safe, that things could happen in any moment that you would not be able to survive.
Yeah.
And I think your mum's projection of that created this very subtle nervous system unsafety that you carried through your life. And then you had things happen that really were the realization
The
of
realization.
the worst things ever.
I know.
And that gets compounded. But it does that as a pattern to show us that belief that lies beneath, right? And you saw that belief that you got imprinted via your mother's line, not just your mum, but your mother's line of all that fear and anxiety. And seeing that was like, whoa, I can see this now from the imprint of the pattern on reality, which I feel was very liberating for you. Would you say that was?
Oh, very liberating. Like, and I still see that's one of the things that is very strong in me, the imprint of my mother.
Yeah.
Especially because she's got such this big personality that so there is so much. And today I was thinking, like, before we had the conversation, I was like, we are the product of our parents, right? We and the way I dealt with grief as well, like I see so much in the way they both deal with things in life. So I had to really see that and sit with that and consciously ask myself, is this the truth? Right? I think that's the work, that is this truth?
Yeah.
Whatever imprint that I'm feeling is the victim. Is this truth? Is this a reality?
Yeah. And not the illusion.
Yes.
That distinction is so big. And you're right, because when we realize what's an imprint and what's our authentic, safe self, we can begin to go, oh, hold on, I don't need to look at the world from that lens. That's not even mine necessarily. It's one that's being imprinted within me. Yeah. It changes so much.
It does. It changes everything. Everything. I think that's the beauty of this work. And listen, I've done things. Spiritual things, medicine, plant medicine. I've done throughout my life. I would say before Gaia died, I wasn't searching. I'm a seeker. So I've done a lot of things. This work really changes everything. It gives you so much perspective. Like the consciousness is it's just amazing. Yeah. It's not transcending anything or bypassing, spiritual bypassing. And it's just, you have to do the work.
Yeah.
You have to do the work.
You have to do it. And then it meets you.
It meets you. Yes. And I think it will keep happening. I don't think there's an end. Is there?
No end. We keep evolving. But at least now we know how to evolve.
Yes. You've been in there for a while, so you know.
Yeah, we keep evolving. But it's like, at least we have our own map now. We know how to go through all the spaces.
Yes. And the challenges are still going to come because we are here to experience that. Yeah.
Definitely. But then it's like we see that as, oh, wow, we get to go again. We get to go and release and free ourselves again. And I've witnessed you free yourself over and over again. You're getting really good at it.
Professional.
So to anyone listening, what would you say to them if they're considering joining the space?
Oh, don't think twice, like just do it. And it's going to challenge you. It's going to transform you. It's going to, you have to be aware that it's something that you need to work through it. No one else can do it for you. No one else can do it. But you can do it. Definitely.
It's so empowering.
Yes.
No, Lissy,
say yes and do it.
Yeah, just do it. You will
Just
not
do
look
it.
back. You will not look back.
No, you won't. No.
Possible.
And the moment you think that you can't do it, that's the moment
that it all happens.
Yes, exactly.
Isn't that crazy as well? Oh, Lucy, I have so much love for you. I have so much love for your journey. I'm so honored to be here with you. I cannot wait to hold your baba.
I know. Me too. Come
soon. It's time. You've done the interview. Come.
Yes. I didn't know if I was going to make it, but here I am.
Here you are. You're so close. And you're just, you're an inspiration on all levels. So thank you so much for your time and sharing with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And yes, have a nice week.
It's been an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you. And to say thank you, I'd like to share with you 3 beautiful meditations to explore your core wounding and a collection of masterclasses. You'll find these in your show notes. And if you feel the synergy to this path, know that it is available to you also.